Also, Tata Motors is up almost 1%, in addition to the 7% gain it's seen this month because of the fact that JLR sales were not as bad as the street was expecting. But let's pose all these questions to our guest. Sanjiv Bhasin joins in now to analyze some of these data points for us. Sanjiv, hi, morning. I don't know if you heard the management of TCS, but they did mention that double-digit growth is possible in FY20. They were very confident. Also, they said that this margin erosion that they've seen this time is just a minor blip because they're investing in hiring in order to cater to demand. Would you be optimistic here?
Yeah, morning. So I think the management commentary was very positive, and I just heard a little bit of it. But yesterday numbers were definitely a little disappointing. 100%, 100 bips down on the margin. The problem is, Sonia, even though the management sounds confident, I think the escalated cost of visa and so on are going to be a detrimental point. Now, how they play it is a very stark contrast to how you've seen the guidance from Apple and Samsung in the sales over there. So we'll take it with a pinch of salt. I think the stock is fully valued, but as a portfolio pick, it has been a primed on a 40% up in last year. I see it being a market neutral for the time being.
Okay, market neutral is what you have on TCS right now. The pre-opening rates, the rupee is of course stronger. That's basically the global dollar weakness playing out. ITC corrected a bit yesterday, but is seeing a bit of a move now, 1% higher. Sanjeev, good morning. You can correct me if I'm wrong. ITC seems, is one of your top picks for this year. Your thoughts on the recent rally and whether, it can extend?
Yeah, hi. So, Anuj, yes, ITC would be our prime donor pick in the FMCG. We would rather say replace that with lever if you are long. So, reason are simple. I think the Kerala flood 1% cess has allayed all the fears of too much of syntax coming. And secondly, we've seen their FMCG, their hotel, their paper business, all the verticals have performed brilliantly. The added will be the margin expansion, which we think can come this time in the cigarette side. So on sum of parts, ITC becomes one of the best plays as a FMCG stroke cigarette player. And we think that this stock is definitely going to hit 340, 350. It becomes a very reasonable play at 28 times 1 year forward, which is almost half the multiple which you're giving a lever or a Nestle.
Okay. Well, let's just check the rates yet again. The rupee has strengthened a wee bit, about 3-4 pies. I mean, not much. The indexes have come down. It's not as big as 0.8 and 0.7, which was never expected. But now they're settling at a 0.25% gain. That's important to note. And the bond yields have not moved at all. I mean, it's amazing. The bond yields did not even react yesterday to the CAG's pointing out that a lot of the fiscal deficit is hidden in off-balance sheet transactions. So bond market extremely quiet because, yes, there is a Reserve Bank buying and supplying liquidity. So there is really no danger to the market from the macros, neither from the rupee nor from the bond, as of now at least. And that perhaps explains 0.25% higher. The stock leading the charge also is Tata Steel. So actually, it looks like a goodish bit of the Tata stocks are having a nice time today. I mean, not connected, but incidentally, TCS, I think Tata Motors now is not among the big gainers. Eicher Motors continues to retain the advantage, but Tata Motors still wobbly.
Yeah, the other stock which has been moving actually off late is Tata Steel BSL, the erstwhile Bhushan Steel, of course. That stock also
very sharply,
very 4%. Sharp move. Yesterday also, today also up about almost 5% on that stock. So Tata Steel BSL is the stock that, 4.5% higher. Jet Airways, for whatever it's worth, is up about 2.5%.
This is
Sorry, you see, no, DHFL is up 1%. Let's see. NCC, where news yesterday came in on the BSC that Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has added about 80 lakh shares in NCC. That stock is in the green. Now, keep in mind, the stock corrected sharply in last quarter, so you don't know the price at which Rakesh bought. Perhaps might have been in the 65 to 70 rupee band for all you know. But anyway, that stock is also opening higher.
Jet is starting up.
Yeah, in fact, I just mentioned that, the move in Jet Airways. But Sanjeev, I wanted your thoughts on Infosys and how to approach that. I mean, it could be a second share buyback that the company could consider later today, a special dividend second time in 2 years. So shareholders might get rewarded. But would you buy the stock ahead of the numbers?
So, Sonia, it's a glass half full, half empty. I think this is a second buyback with a high dividend is definitely going to reward the shareholders. But then what's the inorganic way of growth? If there is so much cash on hand that you are returning, it's telling me growth opportunities seem very, very limited. And you'll have to take this TCS guidance with a pinch of salt on what you are hearing from Apple and Samsung. So thirdly, the tax cuts, which were a huge positive for budget expansions on ITs in the US, are also going to be stalling. So I would not be in a hurry to buy Infosys. I think it's fully priced, and I think that return of cash actually acts negatively because you're not able to use that, deploy that more creatively for expansion on artificial intelligence, cloud computing and the works. So I would be a little cautious on Infosys.
Okay, actually, just to come back to the market, Sanjiv, now it's slid back to flat terrain. So market quite clearly trying to make up its mind and not quite sure whether to open in the green or the red. The global cues are, of course, positive. The macros are positive. There's nothing that has deteriorated in the last 24 hours. So market's still biding its time. Yes Bank is starting 1% higher. Sooner or later, we should know who heads, and probably some people want to start on the front foot. ITC as well as up. All those are supporting the market at this point. Manisha Gupta is here to give us a roundup of what the commodity markets are seeing. Morning, Manisha.
Morning, Lata. Thank you so much for that. Well, we have seen the crude oil prices come off its 5-week highs that we were trading in the New York session yesterday. And that is because the concerns about the economic slowdown are back. We haven't seen any concrete data details come in from the US-China trade talks, and that really seems to be worrying the markets. But even with that, it's a second straight week of gains for the crude oil prices. The best percentage weekly gain actually in last 2 years. The US crude is up 9% in this week on the back of the fact that you have seen the OPEC and the allies output continue. The Saudi Arabia cuts have been strong, and there have been statements from Nigeria and Norway as well, which says that their output for crude in this year is going to be the lowest in 3 decades. It's all involuntary, of course, and some of these OPEC members are facing a lot of internal unrest. But there are reports out from Barclays and Deutsche Bank which feel that $55 to $65 per barrel for the Brent is where you would be looking at for the rest of this year as well. A bit of a decline also is seen in the metal space. Again, the US-China talks did not augur any positive results, or any concrete results rather, and the China producer price index has come in on the lowest in last 2 years. That has been the yet another reason that has pulled many of these metal prices lower. So whether it is steel, copper, zinc, we saw nearly 0.5% of decline overnight, and that's exactly how Shanghai's open trade today.
All right, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. 5 more minutes left for the markets to open. As of now, TCS has cooled off a tad bit. Nothing alarming. It's about a 1% knockdown that you're seeing. A couple of other stocks, ever ready on the possibility of the promoter selling stake, is up in the green. But as we've told you, you should exercise a bit of caution here. Ever ready now up almost about 6% odd. But let's get some 9-10 calls in. Ashwini, what would the big call at 9-10 be?
Well, Manappuram is a buy with a stop of 94, a target of 106.
Finance companies have done well. Yesterday also Manappuram was at the high point. Mitesh, your 9-10 call?
I would suggest a buy on MFSL, buy with a stop at 446 for targets close to about 481.
Okay, that's Max Financial in case those who didn't get it. That's the NSE symbol, of course. Traders refer to that. Prakash, your 9-10 call?
Glenmark looks like 676, 683 is possible. 2685 is the stop.
Okay, but Glenmark, the symbol is also Glenmark, so that helps, of course.
No problem.
No problem. But anyway, the TCS is the top loser and Yes Bank is the top gainer right now. So let's see how things move. Mitesh, chartically, I mean, of course, Yes Bank, it's all over the place, but in terms of risk reward, how's it looking if you look at the charts?
So, Anuj, I've been waiting for the stock to actually start closing above 194, 195. Till then, I think it's a slightly broader range, 177 to about 194, 195. And I think once it breaks above 194, you would see some kind of stronger momentum come into the stock, and 220 can happen very soon.
Okay, that entire rupee strength has been wiped off. You've seen that play out actually. The Indian currency is somehow not responding to the dollar weakness, and it's now actually again moving. So just keep an eye on that as well.
Well, okay, it's still 2-3 pies. Let's see how the day progresses. We are not getting that much support from crude as well. You know, I guess the two of them will have a okay, now it's again come to 70-45. So there's a bit of weakness. Okay, we'll wait and see. In any case, whether it's 39 or 45, it's, you know, we are talking about a few pies only. at this point in time. Okay, Sanjiv, how would you approach Bandhan now?
Well, Lata, very difficult question in the sense that in the hurry and scurry to get the, holding down, they've landed themselves up in a deal which has been very, very dissatisfying for the investor and the market. I think the ratio was very weakly thought of and is given both the shareholders a definite negative, sentiment. The only gainer would be HDFC, which has been able to exit. Now, Bandhan numbers were strong, but maintaining 10% net interest margins going forward will be a challenge. And even though we think that credit is going to expand, they'll have the best of maybe. I would rather put my money on IDFC Bank first. The culmination of Capital First and IDFC Bank. I think I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Vaidyanathan. I've been bullish on this stock from this 36, 38 levels. I can see that being a huge, huge entity in the next 1 year. 75 to 80 would be my target. So I would skip Bandhan and put money on IDFC Bank.
Okay, in fact, the stock has gone up about 30% over the last 1 month. Before the markets open, Sanjiv, one word on Tata Motors. I mean, the stock has already gone up about 9% this week. Would you be optimistic post the JLR numbers that came through?
Yes. So, Sonia, also one swallow doesn't make a summer. This 1 month hiatus has seen you get the best opportunity in 2 years on Eicher at 20,000, Ashok Leyland at 94. Tata Motor has definitely, in fact, outperformed the auto index. So, yes, I would be relatively bullish on auto. I think by this Diwali, you could actually see 250 on Tata Motor. So, on a price performance, all these three are giving you very good opportunities. Also, Sonia, for January, my stock has been NBCC at 56. And let me tell you, 70 to 75 should be on the cards by the end of January.
Okay, NBCC has done well. So that's Karnataka Bank would be the other stock that you would want to keep on your radar. Of course, the numbers today and over the last few days, it's seen some buying. Any thoughts here? Or South Indian Bank, Federal Bank? You've just started to see some bit of interest once again in some of these South-based banks, Sanjiv.
Yeah. So, Anuj, that's a good point. Actually, mid-cap banks with an MSME exposure are doing excellent. And, Kerala, after the Kerala floods, was the opportunity of Federal Bank at 72. I still think 120 is on the cards. We also like DCB Bank, IDFC Bank, and like you pointed out, Karnataka Bank would be a very good mixed play on the South market and some of the, Maharashtra region. So mid-cap banks can actually give better returns than some of the retail bankers, I think, in the next 6 months.
Okay. Well, there's just about 50 seconds. Sanjiv, just a very quick question on Yes Bank. Would you do anything at all or wait for the final decision?
So, Lata, firstly, someone from within the ranks, I think Rajat Monga from being inception there would be a positive. I think that will allay a lot of fears which have been there. I think that would be taken as a positive. The stock could, oscillate between this 175 to 200. But I think at these prices, if you get one event over, that would give a lot of confidence to retail investors.
All right, Sanjiv, thanks a lot for that. 15 seconds to go. Prakash, very quickly on TCS, how would you approach it at 1870?
Well, I think I like to buy here. Strong support in the vicinity of around 1875. Possible target on the upside 1925. It's sideways zone, but an up move is possible.